Paola Harris, investigative reporter, and I'm so excited to be on Patreon. And Connecting the Dots, Making Sense of the UFO Phenomena was my first book, but it really represents my whole philosophy of research, because I've spent 40 years now in this field, just doing interviews all over the world, field research, to try to figure this out. So this is an opportunity to share with you, the viewer, everything I have accomplished. I have 5 books, and you'd have to read the 5 books and the interviews to get what you're going to get here, which is my time during the month to talk about these things that are so important to me and what I've discovered. I don't have the answer to anything after all these years, but the journey is so exciting that for me, having Patreon like this helps me to share it with other people. And this is very, very important for all of us researchers, because I know everybody wants to go on this journey, and not everybody can go to South America, not everybody can go to Europe, and not everybody can go to these sites. And lately in New Mexico a lot. That, you know, it really, really is to the advantage of the people who want to know the truth, that are interested in the UFO phenomenon, the paranormal, and where I am right now in consciousness. In the end, I've come to the conclusion that I just want to be inspirational, and I want to be informational, which means to teach and to inspire. So very quickly, that's my philosophy, to teach and inspire. So I've created this platform so that we can have some news every month for everybody, but then tier 1, we can have an interaction at least once a month with the chat room. And then I can interview somebody on camera once a month. I've just done this platform with Regina Meredith, and would love to have her do it with me. I have a list of people already for 1 year lined up that you would be interested in listening to, and I'll do the interviewing. And that would be under tier 1 with a newsletter, with the latest news, with a book review, because the only way I do anything is by informing myself. And books like American Cosmic by Diana Pasulka has changed the view of ufology. It's really interesting, because if you can't read the books, I will talk about them a little bit, and we'll have a book club. We will have interaction at least with our videos. And, you know, there are so many articles, one by one, that I could put out. You know, from the Philadelphia experiment to the Charles Hall case, these are things that I've done over 40 years. Tier 1 is a really, really good venue for what I can disclose. Tier 2 gets more complicated, because I'm going to add everything of tier 1, but 2 will include everything in tier 1. And I'm going to add some personal album to tier 2. I have photographs and very personal stories, like outtakes from all of my interviews. For instance, I have photographs of me with John Mack in Florence, and I can talk about John personally and frame what he said to me in Florence, Italy, around his fantastic interview, Changing Your Worldview. So tier 2 gets much more personal, and I will also share my personal photos. Tier 2 is also going to be very exciting, because the people that know this, I sponsor the Laughlin Starworks USA conference every year, and I also sponsor the Crestone meeting with Ricardo Gonzalez in September. So I can give discounts to both of those events if you join tier 2. That you'll be with us at Laughlin in November, and with Ricardo Gonzalez and Crestone in September. And these add to the real live intercommunication with some of the real researchers and some of the high personages in the field. And I also have added another thing to tier 2. Everything in tier 1 with the book reports and everything, but tier 2 we have something that's very exciting. We will give away every month the original video, one original video download of the Laughlin conferences that we've had for the last 7 years. And that includes people like Grant Cameron, Ralph Ring, Jaime Maussan, and his incredible UFO photos from all over the world. Uri Geller that we had last year. And every download, every month, you will be able to see and download one of these videos from the past Laughlin conferences and the present Laughlin conferences. This is so much information to share. And finally, I get a chance to interact face-to-face with people, which for me is a whole new venue because I'm always out there in the field and I never really know the effect that any of my work has on anybody. So may I invite you to be part of Patreon. May I invite you to be part of connecting the dots, making sense of the UFO phenomena, and of my work.